Hello and happiest of days to each of you out there for you folks. I hope you guys are having just an absolutely amazing day and that this YouTube post finds you well. And if not, then it will be by the end of the day today. Alright, so today's Serial Saturday is the day that I like to do my reviews of older serials that are in the movie or sometimes television stuff too. That are lost, forgotten thing that really sort of sorts things out. And that sort of a thing. I've recently done 2 Tarzan serials. I've done Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Captain Marvel, the Spider's Web, that sort of thing, as well as tons of sci-fi stuff in the Doctor Who TV ones in the mid-60s to the first 2 seasons of that too. I've done tons of stuff out there stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, so today we're taking a look at Daredevils of the Red Circle. For folks, this is a 12-parter. It's 3.5 hours long. It's released in 1939, pretty much in the middle of the serial stuff when it had its heights and that sort of thing. It stars Herman Brix as Tiny Dawson. Herman Brix was the Tarzan from 35 that we already saw. And Charles Quigley as Gene Townley. Not Townley. With an O. Also starring as Bert Knowles is David Sharp, and as Blanche Granville is Carol Landis, and she is the granddaughter of Horace Granville, who is placed by Miles Mander in 2 roles, and then Charles Middleton plays as Harry Crowder, and that sort of thing. So Miles Mander is an absolutely classic role here. He owns that Delaware role. He does a great job acting. He definitely owns this part. And this thing is the result. So here, the Daredevils, I was hoping from the title would be a flying pulp, because I haven't done any flying pulps. Recently, I did a northern pulp and a lot of sci-fi pulps. No, sort of thing. Northern pulps are basically Canadian Mounties, western set in the north. But I hadn't done any flying pulps, very popular at the time, and that sort of thing. So I thought that this would be this, but it's actually not. The Daredevils here are circus performers instead. Just a heads up. All right, so in the first episode, we'll basically find out most of the plot, but no spoilers. But basically what happens is that one of their junior members and his younger brother of one of them is killed in the first episode by the big bad and that sort of thing. He served his term in crime. He was a horrible person. Served his crime in jail, and now he is out. And he is, but nobody knows where he is, and that sort of thing. And so he is committing crimes against this estate of the guy that's Middleton, who and his daughter too. And they are here just getting taken care of by the stuff. And he has infiltrated their mansion and that sort of thing. And the guy who was his ex-partner and then testified against him in court. And so he has a vengeance against that guy. We'll also find out in the first episode that he has actually replaced the guy. And he's using a mask and that sort of thing. And to see him against himself in the dual roles, man, it's just played so well. Love it lots. And that sort of thing. And then, because they saved his granddaughter, he had to make it seem like he was the actual guy. So he hires the Daredevils to hunt down himself. And they actually will succeed. It's kind of funny. All right. So next up is great action, that sort of thing. Solid, spectacular cliffhangers. So they're fine. Then as to these sets, okay, you can tell it's not exactly the most flashed out sets of all time, like Flash Gordon or that sort of thing, but they're fine. And the acting, like I said, from Mander and Middleton too, is just an absolutely classic supplement. They own this up. And so this is an 8 out of 10 for those reasons. But have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Right, just let me know what your thoughts are and that sort of a thing. Don't try to keep it spoiler free like I did, but typically these things are pretty strong stuff. Typically most of the plot is given in the first episode. Alright, so there you are for you folks. So as a reminder, serial stuff on Saturday, like I said before, really will help to sell that sort of stuff. For example, in the serials in this era, in 1939, they've been around for a few decades. that sort of thing. And they had these cliffhangers that would help folks come back, right, to the things. So, for example, instead of going to just one film like you would say with a few trailers and then you would watch a film and then leave, you might go for like a half a day or a day and watch a few pictures, some serials, and that sort of thing. For example, let's say you started at Saturday at noon. Right, it is half a start. I'm just giving you an example, right? I'm going to watch a few shorts, and yes, there were trailers, but they actually weren't that common during this time. And then, so you would typically have cartoons in that era, those 3 or 4 minute cartoons, or newsreels too, typically by companies. All right, so again, you would typically have cartoons that would be like a few minutes long. That sort of thing, and then newsreels, sometimes by the government, but typically by companies and that sort of thing. Sort of like a commercial and that sort of thing, extended wise. Oftentimes, though, not what you would think. Like they might be like, it's just a way to advertise them. And then after that, you would then turn next to you would watch the A picture, and then before heading to intermission for like a half an hour or so, you would then watch the serial. And then the serial itself would be like, oh, what's going to happen? I don't know. Let's find out. They wouldn't leave you with the A picture, right? They would leave you with that. And come back after intermission with another couple of shorts. Then the B picture, which oftentimes is very, very fast compared to modern films. It's very, very pacey too, right? It's typically, it might always be like an hour or so minutes long, right? And that sort of thing. And then after that, you would have the last, maybe a short or two, and then the last serial, and then everybody would head home. So serials heading in intermission and heading home, we're going to be what they were talking about. How are they going to survive this cliffhanger? I don't know. Let's find out. It will be the water cooler talk, if you will, of that era. It's what brought people back to the cinemas, not the movies that they were going to see, right? And from Flash Gordon, which sold out serials in a big way to other things too. This was, again, of its time, and it was a big thing on that sort of thing. And so it was definitely a hot toll. And so spending a day today talking about that's great stuff. Yesterday on Fridays I do top 10s or something. I typically movies I ranked all the 11 Star Wars theatrical live action films for you folks. So not the Clone Wars one that's animated that nobody likes, or the theatrical ones like the Ewoks ones, or the live action the holiday special one either. So those are not included. Or I've just recently, typically I've done top 10 independent films, top 10, films, foreign language films, those sorts of things, action films. And also all that sort of stuff, great stuff. And then so check yesterday, in the last 5 weeks, I did my top 10 musical albums, my top 10 artists, like Chicago, my top 10 musical, and then my top 10 comics, movies, miniseries, and authors. I also do a top 10 board games recently, just to check those out. On Wednesday, I do video game reviews of older things. I recently did the movies from 2005, Landscape Dormant, Pool of Radiance from 88, and I'm going to go do the Baldur's Gate series. I like to do those older things too. On Monday, I do reviews of older things in the RPGs, like First Edition or Back Me, Dungeons & Dragons, or sometimes Second Edition too. And then, or sometimes some older war games like Battletech and that sort of thing too. I just did the Pool of Radiance module, and I'll be doing B5 this week. I've done all the recent B stuff, the early stuff. I've done X1 and X2 recently too, as well by Tom Moldvay, Keeping the Borderlands by Gary Gygax. So Gary Gygax's 7 modules series on that sort of a thing. I've done L1 and L2, Assassin's Not, The Secret of Bone Hill, and Greyhawk, and that sort of thing too. So that's so check out those. And then the other 3 days of the week, I do older things that you read, like novels or novellas, poems, short stories, or even prose poems, right? That sort of stuff. So those 7 older things and that sort of thing sound like fun to you, then definitely welcome to the channel and have a seat. I think you'll enjoy your stay here. Just do all the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, right? Hit the like button, and then just watch them. Right, watch and share, and then hit the bell icon to be notified of my videos that I like to do for you folks too. Alrighty, and so there you are, right? And so, as a reminder, all those 7 things, as you can tell, or the passion of the channel. It's also where the title comes from too, right? The worst thing about new books. It's a quote by a French philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was they kept us from reading the old ones. And this is definitely some old stuff we might have forgotten about here. Right, in our passion for the new stuff, we might have forgotten it's built on giants, right? It's not that it's bad, but in our pursuit of the new video game, the new movie, the new novel, right? We've forgotten that it's standing on the shoulders of giants. So go check out those giants, right? I don't think we'll be disappointed. Also, I'll learn more stuff, like for example, Flash Gordon was heavily influential on Star Wars, right? So when I go back and watch Flash Gordon, I get to appreciate that more, right? That sort of stuff too. Alrighty, and so there you are. If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to thank you, so very, very much, for just taking some time out of your day and just investing it and watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again and have an amazing day.